Well, here we go again. Another super video. Only this time I have a wonderful guest who will be making multiple appearances over and over and over again. And you probably remember him as Cojonesdeloro, my good friend Daz. Say hello so
Hello.
your face appears on the screen.
Hello. How's everybody doing? You all right? I need to look at the lens. Sorry, Jeremy. That is, Jesus, that's a rookie error, and I'm so not a rookie.
Well, just remember that we are old and we don't know what we're doing, and
I think we've just proven that.
and we're barely paying.
If we can lift the curtain, it's just taken us around an hour to get to this stage. But I have every faith in my host. He's a wizard.
No, there's please. I don't know what I'm doing. This is the Zoom meeting thing where I can see him all the time, and I can see me all the time. But
not all the time, I hope.
You can. It's that internal vision that you have to. That's how you get to be like this. Is that you always focus on,
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, but you guys are gonna watch when he talks. He's gonna flash on the screen, and when I talk, I'm gonna be on the screen because I can't fucking figure out how to work this thing for the life of me because I had no practice and I didn't do anything to really do anything to get this to work till today. So
it will all work. And everything Jeremy's just said will just have to be chopped out because it'll actually work and it'll be fine.
Wait, sure it'll be fine. I'm not editing anything, so this is the problem. No. At best, I'll put in some kind of a flashback sound effect because I think everyone remembers Cojonesdeloro from back in the day. Oh, I remember it as if it was only yesterday. Oh, he would sit there on the screen and tell everybody how. Fuck off. So yeah. Anyway, fill us in so that you're actually on the screen because I'm doing most of the talking right now. Fill us in on where have you been for the last 7.5 years since you've left YouTube?
I know it seems like that long, doesn't it? And well, I kind of left and then came back and then left again as quick as I came back. So after nearly 10 years, 10 long years of offering quality content to the UK retro gaming community, I think we can all agree on that.
Citation needed.
It was all quality.
Yeah. Oh, well, just go back and watch all of his video. Oh, you can't do that. So anyway,
thanks for that. We're kicking the bollocks. So yeah, what can I say other than I did something reckless, and yeah, I'll go there if you want me to. I'll go there. I will go to the truth if you want me to.
No filters are on here at all.
Okay, so after 10 years, I figured that I'd said everything I had to say. What a mistake. There's just no amount of years left in the history of time for me to finish saying what I want to say. As we all know, I've always been accused of liking the sound of my own voice, and I quite do, actually. But anyway, if you know me, I'm not that arrogant a person. I just sound like I am. It's all very tongue-in-cheek. So no, after, as I say, nearly 10 years of going through the mill with all this, I kind of let the negative side of it in too far, I think. So there is a negative side to YouTube, and we all know what that is, and it's the trolling, and it's the there's that whole thing, this kind of the bitchiness and that kind of the stuff that goes on in the background, really. And unless you're involved at that level, within a community, it's difficult to see it, but it is there, and it kind of raises its head now and again, and you either ride it, you either ride it and you cope with it, especially negative comments and stuff like that, and people just trying to pull you down for, you know, their own shits and giggles, which is what your average troll tries to do. Because, you know, what have they got to do in their lives? All they've got to do is, you know, sit at home, feel sad, and wank off their own dog, you know, now and again. That's the strength of it, you know, that's the level. And so they see you being all shiny and, you know, involved in a community that's supportive and all that good stuff, and they don't like that, you know, so they have to try and claw their way into that and drag it down. So, and it does, you know, unless you are made of concrete, and I've always had my heart on my sleeve, it's very difficult to do that. And so I got to a point where that really ground me down, and it became a negative experience from being a completely positive experience, excuse me, for the longest time. And I forgot to ignore that and to focus on the positive attributes of it. And I decided just one night, like I do, and Stuart, Tutor UK, hello Stuart, if you're watching this, has always said, you know, that I'm very impulsive, and I am. I'm very, very susceptible to a thought that I might have in a second, and I'll just go with it like that. And I remember the night, you know, I'd got a couple of negative comments, and I just thought, you know what, fuck this. I don't need this in my life. Bollocks. You know, I've forgotten who I am. I've forgotten, you know, I've forgotten the joy in all this, and do I really need it? No. And I just went to the computer, and I actually did the kind of pussying out thing. So I went to the computer, and I was looking at the options. So I went into because it's quite difficult to delete a YouTube channel. Actually, you have to go into several levels before it'll let you get to the delete option. And obviously there was this hide your content. And I've always said, you know, if I went, I'd just disappear. I wouldn't do that, or I've hidden my content because I want people to say, oh, where have you gone? And, you know, that's just it's just a bit needy, isn't it, to do that? And I decided, so while I was there trying to hide the content, there was like an error, and it kept coming back saying, sorry, we can't offer that option at this point. Sorry, we can't offer that option at this point. And I was thinking, why am I even doing this anyway? If I'm gone, I'm gone. And I just hit delete. And then I think there was like 3 chances to change your mind, and just went delete, 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 and it was gone. And as I said before, when I came back the second time, that I regret that, and I still do. It was a very impulsive, reckless thing to do with nearly 10 years worth of content. And Jeremy, there were videos on there that I'd shot with you that I'll never get back. I mean, really, you know, my travel when I came over to see you, the Meet the Tubers that we did, the one I loved where I strapped you to the end of the gun, if you remember. I strapped the webcam on the end of the gun.
Right, yeah, that's right.
I think it was, what game was that now? It was
it House of the Dead
Overkill,
2?
wasn't it? It was, yeah, on the Wii, and we did that. That was awesome. And then we did the Mario Kart 8, you know, sort of thing. And Brandy let me win, and you know, all those were lost. And I really, if I think about it too long, I get upset because they were parts of our friendship that grew from just this YouTube thing that I'll never be able to watch again, and I regret that. And not just yourself either, other people, and you'll know all their names that I've become very good friends with. So that kind of, I didn't really give myself the time to process, because again, very impulsively I thought, I'll just come back, you know. I got the Twitch again straight away. I'll come back, we'll call it 2.0, and I'll rebuild. And it wasn't long. I did a couple of Meet the Tubers and a bit of content, and again, just let it get to me, you know. The negs were there straight away, and it got to me again, and that was it. I just closed it down again, and at that point felt that I was never ever going to do this again. But here I am, and if you ask me why this time, I think I've taken the time this time. I think what I should have done initially is just come away, just left it as it was. Just come away from it, you know, and not uploaded, and just taken the time. And I think if anyone's watching this, if you're considering it, just do that, you know. I had always had a bit of advice, didn't I? When I was going to sell anything, I always used to say, put it in the loft first.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
put it in the next room, and don't sell it because you're only going to rebuy it. And if it's up there and it stays there for 6 months and you're still not bothered, sell it then. And I think that's what I should have done. I should have just put it to one side, got on with my life, which has been incredibly hectic as well over the last 6 months. It's just been upside down and inside out. And just leave it there as it was, the channel as it was, and just come back to it, if and when. And that's what I should have done.
Right.
But I didn't.
Right. I mean, that's the thing with YouTube, is especially when you have like the 10 years experience of doing it, you become kind of like a content robot. You start wondering whether you're actually being creative anymore or just going through the motions. And that's always the problem, is that like you can't discern quality content from anything else, because if what you're doing is getting the views and getting and people like it, then what's wrong with it? But if you're not into doing it, then and you're just kind of doing it to do it because like, oh well, I've made a video in 5 days, I might as well do something, that's not a reason to do it. You're not actually like, it's not coming from the right place, you know what I mean? It's coming from obligation. It's not coming from the desire to create something that makes you feel good. And that's the thing. Like, I mean, the amount, like, remember when we all started, it was all like pickups. Everyone did pickup videos, and we all just loved watching pickup. We loved it. We all thrived on that. And then people started to like, find their own ways. And, everyone found out that what people liked and what people didn't like, and it was pretty quick before things start thinning out. Or even if you maintain the same view count, if you're just repeating, wash, rinse and repeating the same thing, you're destined to not fail, but you're not
It's not you anymore. It's not YouTube anymore. It's them tube. You're creating for them.
Exactly.
And you forget that they're tuning in for you anyway.
Right.
So the fact that you're I've always called it the 100, because I don't care how many subs you've got. The sub count is irrelevant, because there are so many dead accounts anyway. And
right.
If you just started a YouTube channel and put no content on it, in 10 years you'd have 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
It just grows naturally anyway, with people just dropping in, because I'll do it all the time. I'll drop in, I'll see something, I might see one video on that person's channel, and I'll subscribe, because I don't want to have to go and search for that again. It might be just one subject that they were talking about on that one channel.
Right.
I might not be interested in any other content that they do, just that one video, and I might want to come back and watch that video again in some time. So I'll subscribe, so it's easier to find it. So I mean, I always said that my view count to sub count was really high. I had generally more views than subs, which I just really couldn't understand why someone would come along and view the video and subsequent videos, but not subscribe to the channel. Just keep coming back and watching, but not subscribing. And I never ever said, please subscribe, and I never will, because I think that's just something that you will do. You don't need reminding to subscribe to a channel. It's like a feeling. You're watching it, you get a vibe from that person or their content or whatever, and you think, yeah, I'll watch this guy and I'll subscribe. But you're right, I became bored with my own content. I felt like I was just going through the motions. I was bored myself, and I just thought, well, if I'm bored, that's going to come across. And I've always been, as I say, heart on sleeve. If the way I'm feeling, you're going to see that in my video. I cannot act that well.
Right.
I cannot do it. So, and I only ever made a video when I wanted to. I've never, for me, the community aspect of it was more important than the subs and the views. Just being part of a community that of like-minded people, which I didn't have growing up. Not a lot of my friends were into video gaming and stuff like that. So it was just an outlet for that. But also, because I am a creative person, and as you say, it tapped into that. I've never had such a creative outlet. And that's what's hooking me back in all the time, is the creative outlet, being able to do the videos. I mean, I've done drone videos, and I went off and I tried to reinvent myself many times as, I'm going to do this now, or I'm going to do that now. And I have to say, I really enjoyed doing those as well. They didn't get the views, but I still really enjoyed doing them.
Right.
And they were more for me. You know, I've did my trip to New York, and I've done some holiday videos and stuff, but they were mainly for personal reasons, and like a, you know, more of a logging of that time, you know, what have you. But the core subject in all this, the video gaming, that's something that I've always done anyway, since being, well, the early 80s. So since 1980, you know, I've always had video games of some description, whether it be a little handheld LCD that I got for my birthday, or a full-blown console later on in life where, you know, I was proper invested in it or whatever. But you're right. I think you get to a point where you think, I mean, I've seen your videos. I saw your videos where you were there, and you were obviously just there for the, you know, oh, here I am. And you'll say it, you know, very ironically a lot of the time, I'm back, and hey, and you become your own gimmick. It's almost like you become a caricature of yourself, and the things you're saying are the same, and it becomes boring. You get bored with it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's you can't put on the same act forever and have it be believable. Like, you know, there's up to a point where people aren't seeing that you're putting 100% into what you're doing. And
well, that's the thing. I wouldn't say what I've ever done is acting. I've always been me, you know, raw, in tooth and claw. If I'm upset, you know. If I'm not upset, you know. And I've never painted a persona across it. So I didn't become tired of trying to be something. It's deeper than that. I became tired of being me. And that's quite difficult, you know?
Right. So yeah, you weren't flipping a switch and being like, this is Mr. YouTube now. Like when I ended up developing that, you know, angry thing where it's like, I knew what to do as soon as I hit record and what would play well to the people on the other side of the screen. And I knew the difference between the two. But the problem is it's just like you said, when you decide to stop doing that and you're just it's like, well, now I don't want to do this either. You know, like I don't want to be that guy because that guy's just phony piece of shit. And then you come on and you're like, well, now I want to do stuff. And you're like, but I had that gimmick to fall back on and it was easy to do, but now I have to like try and like use my own personality, which is, you know, borderline probably doesn't exist, to try and keep people entertained. And it's like, I don't know, I was lost. It's like, you know, it's easy to hold something up and say, here's the thing, and make a glib comment about it. But you know, when you're actually trying to tell people how you actually feel about it, it's so funny because people just didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to see me. They wanted to see the other guy. And it's like, I can still turn that off and on, but it's just not real. It's not real anymore. My favorite videos that I do now are like me out and about filming ducks or some fucking tree or out in the woods or whatever, because that's what I like doing. Those you can tell I'm enjoying myself. Sitting here at the desk being like, hey, everyone, look, I bought a fucking whatever. It's just like, that's just, it's placeholder content. That's what I call it. Like until I move, because, you know, in the position I'm in now, I have absolutely no privacy. I have no way, you know, I work night shift. I can't make videos in, you know, I have no natural light. I have no way of like knowing when I can be by myself. I have no idea. There's no fucking prediction of any, like I'm not running my own life, so I can't produce anything with any confidence whatsoever because I don't know when anything's gonna, I can't plan anything. So it's like, this is all placeholder content. I mean, like this is good because this is just us talking. Like I don't have to pretend anything. I don't have to, there's no filters on anything. I don't have to come up with some, it's two people, which is, you know, I only have to provide 50% or less of the content, and there's
yeah,
and there's
30% in this case.
well, I mean, then there's two people, so like you can say something that makes me think about something instead of me
Yeah.
having to just think about something that maybe somebody else might be interested in. So I mean,
That's the
but
thing as well. There's a lot of channels that are successful because they spark off each other. And you know, in the early days, when, as you've mentioned, you know, when it was a really tight community and we were all really creative and enthusiastic and supportive, you know, we got the 16-bit brothers in the UK anyway. And I used to look forward to those videos. I was hooked to YouTube on a Sunday waiting for the next upload. And it wasn't the content, it was the guys' interactions with each other. And, you know, they may tell stories, or they just rip on each other, you know, and there's gold in that. I mean, it's banter. That's what this is. It's banter. And, you know, Meet the Tuber, when I do Meet the Tuber, it's banter. You know, it's
right,
just
right,
banter. It's a bit of to and fro and a little cheeky comment here and a bit of, and it's banter. But those guys they nailed it. You know, they had some really good creative ideas. They were playing the games and talking about the stuff that we were all interested in, and they had that banter, that thing between them, especially when they were, you know, they were playing when they did a challenge with each other. You know, those things were great, and that's, I think that was what made them what they were. They burnt out really quickly, though. Again, they were at a time, you know, when we were there, we looked up to them as being, they were the guys. You know, they were the guys that were
right.
moving and taking on YouTube, and they were big. Not that they ever got that big, but they were within our circle. They were considered the guys.
Yeah.
And I can see why, you know, because they had that rapport with each other that only friends do.
Hmm.
Like me and you will, like, you know, we'll make some like little catty comment to each other and laugh about it because that's us, you know. We're comfortable with each other and we know that it's a joke and, you know, all that stuff. And also we can, you know, we can be honest and open and down the line with each other. And those guys were that. It was light-hearted ribbing of each other and light-hearted competition. And it was great. And I think when you've got that, you've got like that spark thing. Sometimes you need that, you know, you need that other person to spark off. And I think my favorite videos that I made were Meet the Tuber. And that was because that was another person. I was sparking off that person. They were sparking off me. And you got some really good banter going, you know.
Right.
It worked well, you know. It was a good, and it still is, you know, my favorite format on any channel that I might do. And as soon as I've always had this second channel, you see. So this channel that we're on now, which I've called Shmups and Stuff, which is gonna, you know, there'll be a reason for that moving forward. I've actually uploaded a couple of the Meet the Tubers that I did from Cojonesdeloro 2.0 because I did want to keep them, because how I felt about losing the others. You see, I've never backed anything up.
Right.
Everything's always just filmed, uploaded to YouTube, and then deleted. It's
Right.
just on YouTube. So, you know, I've never kept anything. So it's not like I can go back. And I did that. I went back into my laptop and some hard drives that I've got and stuff, trying to find the content again. No, nothing left. So yeah, but I get that. I know where you're coming from with that. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's to do like trying to think of a video for me to make now. It literally involves like, well, am I going on vacation soon? Because those are the only videos I like recording. Because hitting record and sitting here and being like, oh, here's an update. Really, I mean, like, sure, I still get the standard amount of views on it, and people like, there's a lot of interaction with the same also rants that I've always watched my channel, you know, present company accepted. You still comment, which is, you know, I mean, it's
I have
nice to
got
see
lazy with that though in recent times as well. I have
it,
got lazy with that.
but
I'm
that's
always,
fine.
but I think that a lot of the time that's because of how you watch. So previously I'd watch through my iPad and I could just leave comments straight away. When I'm watching through the big screen, you can't do that. So I'd
Right.
always do the thumb, you know, but and I'll just grab my mobile and leave a comment on that if, you know, I'm really inspired to.
Right. I mean, like, I honestly, like, the comments now, I care less about than I used to, because like it used to be the community where it's like, oh, look, all these people who I also support are now supporting me. And it's kind of nice because it felt like a real, like, somebody with 40 subscribers is there and someone with 1,400 subscribers is there, and I'm treating everybody the same. Everyone's part of the group and everything's great. But like right now, like, when after I killed my channel, and by killed it, it was still there, but it reanimated itself and just kept going.
It was more
but
of a suicide, not a
it was
killing.
more of a well, that was the thing. Like at the time, telling everybody that their games are worthless was really not really the kind of point of view that anyone wanted to hear. And me being a dickhead to everybody wasn't really the most ideal situation.
I've never before or want to wank on my shelves. I'd just like to put that out there. I've got other places I do that.
That's subject matter that like I said, I'm not going to bring up during this. This is not the finally I've got you here, let's call out people by name scenario.
No, it's a time. It was a time, and like you say, it's part of the journey. That's the thing that everyone needs to understand here with this, is it's a journey.
Yeah.
And you either stay on it and it's there and you continue to ride the bull.
Yeah.
Or you bail off it and you disappear. But it absolutely is a journey. Right. There are some younger channels here that don't realize it yet. They don't even realize it, but it is a journey.
Right. I mean, I was a very angry young man. And I took it
I'm
out.
a very angry old man.
I took it out on a lot of people, and it had a very detrimental effect on the view count on my channel. And there were times when you start calling people out by name, and then they get all their friends to thumb down your video and unsub. I mean,
it's strange that would happen.
I know. And I mean, like, look, I mean, how you thinking there's not possible that any negativity could ever come out of this, right? I mean, it just
the problem is the viewing public are constantly asking you to be real, and then when you are, you fuck them off.
Well, this is the thing, right? That's the whole thing. They liked me being mad at inanimate objects, but all of a sudden, when I got mad at them, then it's like,
you see, before you were doing it ironically, then when you started to do it for real,
right? Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not interested. Like, I don't think like, oh, I'm gonna rebrand the channel, and once I move to Kelowna, it's gonna be completely different, and I'm gonna start uploading content, and it's gonna be great. And I just want 100 new subscribers that watch my shit for the new shit, the new way that I do things. I don't, the old people, the old guard, as it were, the same people will still comment from the olden days, because they'll watch anything that fucking comes out of my fucking head, right? Because there's something wrong with them, evidently. But like, they're starved for entertainment. But I want 100 new people to be like, oh, look, I like your new content. This is a new kind of thing that you're doing. Your production value is increased exponentially. You don't have bullshit behind you like this. It's like because my happiness will show through in what I do here, as opposed to, feeling like fucking like a fucking monkey in a cage that doesn't feel like they can do anything. So I'm just.
Let me just chime in on that, because I'll forget. I've got a brain like I said. It's about you, Jeremy. YouTube's about you.
Right.
Okay. And it should be all about you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I've called it in the past the 100. There was always, out of, at the height of Cojonesdeloro, it was like 1,200 subs, and videos were between sort of 400 and 700 views.
Right.
Like, there was no kind of correlation between, what content would drive that view count. But I've always, when I came back as Cojonesdeloro 2.0, there was 100 subs that came over from what this channel is now, and then back then it's gone through like 2 or 3 different names. And they are, I would consider my subscribers.
Yeah.
They are 100 people or 100 subscriptions. There may be multiples in that, I don't know, but they are 100 subs that would subscribe if I was showing matchsticks or I was showing my bumhole, on YouTube, because they want to see what I've got to say, and I can't. I'm not saying I'm someone that everyone should watch or that everyone needs to listen to or whatever. And I think you've got to draw it back to you. It's you. So your journey is your journey. And I think we lose track of that. You get into the whole, I mean, I never did really buy into I'll do this content because that's getting the views. I never did that. I've always been me.
Right.
I've always said it's either, I'm just Darren, and hopefully that's enough. And I never chased that. I never got into my psyche, the kind of worrying about what sort of content I was making for who. I've always made content for me. And if you watch it, great. If you don't watch it, don't watch it. That's fine. And I had this conversation recently with Pete Snestastic. He was talking about how he went off and did vinyl videos, and not a lot of people were watching them. And I said to him, well, I was one of those people. I don't want to watch your vinyl thing.
Right.
Music to me is, I've never talked about music on my channel, but it's incredibly important to me, music. It punctuates times in my life, and there are certain things I go to when I'm in a certain mood. It's really important, music. And I'm sure you're the same. You play guitar, I play guitar. So even you might not call yourself it, but you are a musician. You've made me a track.
Right.
My channel and stuff, and you've done that for other people. So you are a musician, and I'm sure music is really important to you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that 700 views you will get for talking about your latest piece of music that you're listening to, because that's not really to everybody. So I think when you're so set in a community and the core subject, then you're not going to get you're not going to get views on a video that's totally unrelated to your core subject. But you shouldn't be surprised by that. And if you get, like I say, if I got 100 views, I'm super happy, because that's for the guys that not necessarily, they didn't sub for that, but they will listen to that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's the same way I look at it. Like, I can see what my content, the view count of what my content is. Like, me going and filming my vacation, it's low, but the people who watch it really enjoy it. This is the thing. The 70 views I get on it, people are enjoying that. You watch the what's it called, the how long people watch the video for, and usually they're they're watching the whole thing, and it's like, well, that's really weird. It's an hour of me walking around with a video camera zooming in on something, saying, I don't know what the fuck's going on over there or whatever, but it's fine. Like, people enjoy that. But like my other videos, like, you can see, like, if it's you can tell like what people are interested in based on the content. But there is that core 100 views that, like, that's all I need. That's all I'm like, oh, good. Well, at least 100 people enjoyed that. I don't care.
At least you're not totally wasting your time, and no one wants to listen to anything you've got to say. That's the one thing that I hate is being ignored.
What?
Even if someone, I don't mind opinion, you know what I mean? But if I'm ignored, that really irritates me. I don't want to be ignored. But yeah, I mean, you're out and about. I'll tell you exactly what I like about your out and about ones, is that you're in a part of the world that's got some amazing trees in it. And I like trees. So when you're walking through an area that's like, I have to say, I do like Canada. I like the look of it. I visited once, but it was very foggy, if you remember, so I didn't get a lot of it. But I love trees and bodies of water. Really, I'm like earth and water. That's me. I'm like, I could, yeah, I could happily live there. You're moving out of Vancouver. I could move in tomorrow. It looks great.
Well,
It looks really nice. But I live in South Yorkshire. Now,
yeah.
there are some stunning parts of my county. It's God's own country, as we call it in around here. But you know, honestly, I do look at Vancouver and Kelowna, where you're going to, and man, it looks stunning. You need to drink it in and be appreciative, because it's a stunning part of the world. It is. You need to really, really remember that.
Well, I mean, that's why when I go on any vacation where I'm driving somewhere, I will take the long route, because the journey is just as important as the destination, right? And I want to be able to just stop somewhere at the side of the road and be like, look at this shit. Like, what the fuck? I've never been here. I'm almost 50 and I never fucking drove 500 miles north. Like, what the hell's wrong with me? And you just realize that, you know, you're not dead yet. So the world's my oyster, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And
my life of
I watch a lot of
adventure.
travel. Watch a lot of travel vlogs and a lot of travel YouTubers as well. And yeah, I mean, it's a fucking amazing big world out there. And the other thing as well is, everybody that goes on one of these epic journeys or moves, they always say the same thing. You know, it's actually a nice place. The world is full of nice people, and the media will tell you that it's full of nasty people and there's nasty things happening everywhere. But if you just give you a chance to go out there and experience it, there's actually quite a lot of good, you know, in the world, and most people are good.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful place, man. You know,
Yeah.
you happen to be in one of the, for me anyway, you know, I like I say, I like bodies of water and trees, and you've got that of the wazoo.
Well, yeah. I mean, the problem is like with Vancouver, it's so high. The cost of living is so high that living here is impossible. So I see, you know, the mountains that surround me, I see it as a wall trying to keep you in. It's like a prison, right? So at this point now, all I see is the bullshit. I can't see the forest for the trees, kind of thing, you know, because
That sounds like my place to be.
yeah, no, it's crazy, right? But like, it is beautiful here. And I mean, like, this whole like all the times that I've been traveling in the last 2 years or whatever, is just, it's opened my mind to like, just, you know, why didn't I do this before? You know, traveling by yourself, like, is something that you're on your own schedule. You don't have to ask the person sitting beside you, where do you want to eat? Where do you want to go? It's like, oh, fuck it. I'm just, boo. Look at your phone. There's a road that goes that way. It seems to be going in the right direction. I'm taking that road. I don't know what's on it. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what I'm going to see, but that's what that's what I want now. I just want the adventure. I just want new experiences. I don't want to be stuck in that hamster wheel, like just dying, like ending up being surrounded by a bunch of shit that I thought was important, and you realize
Yeah,
you're just going to drop
and
dead.
you're in a very unique position as well, of a guy in a time of life that you're at. I mean, we're kind of, I wouldn't say we're over the hill, but we might be stood on top of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So at this point, you know, there are many roads off the top of that hill. You know what I mean? And in a position where you are, where you've got very little ties. I mean, I know you've got your parents and stuff, but you know, you can visit, can't you? You know what I mean? It's not like you're never going to see them again. But
Exactly.
you've not got ties like children or a partner or anything like that to consider. So the world is literally your oyster.
Yep. That's
Literally.
right.
So at this point in your life, wow, that must be such a, and also coming to the fruition of the plan, you know, the grand plan of the, you know, of it all, of getting to a point where you can move out, you can go wherever. You know, I think Kelowna must be a really special place for you to have decided that that's where you're going to go to, because you could go anywhere at this point, anywhere, and pretty much do it within reason. Okay, you're not a multi-millionaire, but do you need to be? You know, you've saved up that, you know, that chunk of freedom tokens, shall we
Right.
call it,
Yeah.
and
Right.
and now you can spend them however you see fit, and it's must be like almost like a rebirth, really.
It's a complete, once you are relieved of financial stress, you realize how much of your life actually, of the stress in your life, is financial stress. It's 3/4 of it. Like, once you think about, like, oh, I don't have to worry about money. And for somebody who's always worried about money, it's like, it's a load off. Like, what do I have to worry about now? My next cup of coffee, getting up for work, which I have like 100 shifts or less at work. So what do I care now? Like,
We're
it's
counting
all,
it in shifts now.
yeah. Well, I know how many days I have left before my birthday, and my birthday is the cutoff point, right? February 27th, 2021 was my goal. And
Isn't that so nice as well? It's like your rebirth day.
yeah,
Call it that, yeah.
50th birthday. How many people get to be like, okay, I'm starting, everything's starting new. I'm going on like a new life adventure at 50. See you later. See ya. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's fun. But like, the financial stress is gone. You really, living life on my terms. That's what I like to say. Like, once you cut the circle of, I hate saying this over and over again, but working so you have money to pay rent, so you have somewhere to sleep, so you're rested, so you can get up, go to work, earn money, pay rent, so you're rested, so you can go to work, earn money. You have to cut that, because, and not very many
I've got
people
a
have.
slightly different plan. So I turned 50 before you. I know the viewers will probably find that very difficult to believe, with my youth, streaming from my face. But yeah, I turned 50 in August, and I've really started to sum things up. And I've got no children. That's something that we decided very early on. So I will have nothing to leave to anybody.
Right.
So, I mean, this house now, we own this house outright. There's no mortgage on this house. So that's kind of money in the bank, So the house itself is going to fund my retirement, because I'll do a thing that they call a life mortgage, which I'm not sure if you have that over there. Well, basically, I will sell the house for its value at that time back to some sort of company that will give me the cash for it, but allow me to live here until I'm dead, and until Debs has gone as well. And there's other things as well that are in the pipeline in the future that will be kind of bequeathed to me, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So that all that stuff, it's going to be like tangible physical things that I'll not be able to take anywhere. So we'll liquidate all that, and then that will be the retirement fund. So as I say, turn 50 this year. I fully intend to be fully retired by 60, but at 55 I'm kind of got another 5 years of hard slog, and then at 55 I want to start to reduce days of work, because I am not fucking dying at work. No fucking way, mate. I'm not doing it. It's not going to happen to me. I want to be retired. I want at least 15, 20 years of retirement, before I shuffle off. And I want to be incredibly poor and sick.
Right.
I ain't leaving a fucking dime. I might leave something to the Cats Trust, because that's a charity that we do support. But yeah, I mean, I've got no one to leave any of this to, so I'm going to use it up, mate.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like I always say, you own nothing. You own only one thing, and that's your life, right? Yeah, that's the only thing you possess. That sure, they can take it away from you, but you'll fight for it, right? Everything else around you doesn't belong to you at all. You're just holding on to it until you drop dead, and it's going to end up in a box in a thrift store somewhere, and that's your life. That's it. It's what you make it. It's what you do with it. You have to enjoy it. You can't let your job define who you are. You can't let your possessions define who you are, and none of that stuff is important. What's important is the personal growth and what you get out of stuff. If you're sitting there and you don't have to worry about waking up for work in the morning, and you're like, oh, what am I going to do today? Fuck it, I don't have to do anything, I'm going to do whatever I want. And you just got your feet up and you got your cup of coffee or your beer, and you're fucking staring off into some beautiful vista somewhere, and you're like, this is it. This is it. This is what you don't need the stress. You don't want to die at work. You don't want to be one of those, career men who's like, the tie around your neck just grows tighter and tighter and tighter till you.
Means to an end, man. Means to an end. And at the end of the day, like you say, I think possessions are. It's something that the modern world has really put a lot in store of. So if you don't own the best car, you've not got the biggest house, you don't have the best food of a weekend, and you're not having the parties that everyone else is at, then there's something wrong with your life. But that's the bullshit side of media and what it's pushing you to do. And as you say, as you get older, you realise that is bullshit, and it's actually not really worth fuck all, really. And what is worth is the experiences that you've had, the people that you've met, the relationships that you've built, and the memories that you're creating. Now, bringing it back to YouTube again, if I can, for a second, being as that's the format that we're, that's the media that we're currently on, is that I believe that my time on here is part of my journey and my growth. And it's like, I think, like you say, you've got to bring it back to you, and the collecting thing and the gaming thing and all that has enriched my life, and the people I've met through that have enriched my life, definitely. There are some pitfalls, as we've talked about, and there are some areas that you can stray into that aren't necessarily real, that might make you feel good for that, that moment. But they're very quickly lived and forgotten, and they disappear very quick. The things that hang around are, like I said earlier, the fact that I found you on YouTube, and then, zip forward a few years and I'm stood in Vancouver with you.
Right.
It's surreal. That would never have happened if I hadn't started YouTube. I would never have visited that continent and seen you. And that's just, but it is that easy as well. It is, if you get the opportunity. And I have to say that my work allowed that at the time as well, because I was traveling a lot, and,
right.
and I happened to be out, very close to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fly to see you was like $75.
Right.
And so why wouldn't I have done that? My work paid for 3/4 of the journey to Los Angeles. And got that, that cheap little JetBlue flight for 14 hours in Vancouver just to nip across and see you, because we've been talking for years. And what was your? I can remember that next morning after we spent the day, and I was traveling back to LA to get my flight back to the UK. It was just so surreal. I just think about it now like it's a dream. Like, did that actually happen? Did we actually make that happen? And it was so bizarre that it was such a quick thing as well, wasn't it? Because it was literally hit the ground next morning. We met up. We spent the day, gone. Yeah, it was like so fast.
No, that's it. It was fleeting, and everything was crammed into, a 12 or 14 hour experience. And then it was just over. And it's just like, I still have the video. So, I mean, you can watch it where you're sitting beside me. So, I mean, that's still there. I mean, as bad as that probably looks now, I looked slightly different back then. But
it wasn't a before and after picture. It was more a after.
Very much so. Very, very much so. But I mean, like, it's almost like the recording of what like even recording anything felt like, oh well, it's kind of obligatory. We don't have much choice, because like when are we gonna, like, we could have just sat there and shot the shit for 14 hours and not recorded anything and still enjoyed every minute of it. But it's like we were like, well, we owe the people. We owe the people.
The amount of, I don't know if you remember, I did like a little thing where you did a montage, I think, and I did like a little teaser montage.
Right.
Saying 7,000 miles, 7,000 miles. And I was kind of recording myself along that journey at points, and then you got you to say it as well.
Yeah.
7,000 miles. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it was like, two worlds collide, nothing will ever be the same again, and lots of and the feedback from that video I got was just palpable. It was electric. People were like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Daz and Jeremy are going to get together. Wow, what a thing. It was like they enjoyed it as much as we did. I think I'd like to think that anyway, that it was that kind of hardcore viewer at that point was watching you and me.
Yeah.
And see us get together. I mean, like UK YouTubers, we get together all the time. It's easy. I can get in the car and drive 2 hours and I'm there with somebody.
Yeah.
But to come across all that distance, 7,000 miles, and boom, that was fucking something.
I know. And
I'll never forget that.
My payback would have been this year, and it got fucked over.
Yeah, you fucked me over, didn't you? So yeah, we'll touch on that for a second. Grubcon 2020.
Yeah.
Thanks, COVID, you bastard.
Yeah, got cancelled. I had 3 weeks of the UK, Europe, and the Nordic countries, and all ruined because.
Let's face it. I mean, it was all about here, wasn't it? It was really all about just meeting me again.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
We'll throw a bone to the the other guys. But,
well,
and again, Raz, I've let him down because you were gonna go, and I was gonna come across at the same time. So I was gonna go to Gothenburg finally, and all those promises were going to be realized this year, and then boom. Sometimes things happen for a reason. Maybe the universe has got something else planned for us. You've got to think about that.
That's the thing. I mean, I was, I had it all planned out. The only thing, I was within days of buying my airplane ticket, like days of doing it. And it was like, no, I don't think I'm going to be doing this now. It doesn't feel very prudent plan when.
Well, I've always wanted to visit Vancouver, look at the great glaciers and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
You never know. You never know. There may be a chance, once I've liquidated some assets, sell a couple of Saturn shooters, and I could come and visit you for 6 months.
Well, I mean, once I'm in Kelowna, believe me, you'll have a place to stay there. There's a hotel just down the street.
Thanks. So, as long as it's only got a couple of bugs in the room, I'll be fine.
Just tell them Jeremy sent you. No last names though.
No, I don't want that knock on the door in the middle of the night.
Yeah. It's just just kind of get in there quiet. Don't. I won't come to visit you in the hotel because probably not for the best. But yeah, it's the chances for us meeting. Like I was so prepared to come over there. I have there's folders and folders and folders on my computer where it's like maps and places to go.
What to do in Rotherham?
Listen, it's not here, so it would have been amazing. I take a lot of pictures, so it wouldn't matter. Like you may think things are shitty, but this is the same thing. You come here and you're like, well, I'm like, well, there's this. I don't know what you can look at that. I don't see the shit that's pretty to see here in Vancouver. So trust me, I would have had a ball. It would have been fucking amazing.
No, I've got plans. I was going to take you to see some pretty things. I wanted you to see the nice parts of South Yorkshire.
Yeah,
it's a nice place.
Well,
there are some shitty parts which you've shown me. I've grown tired of seeing hypodermic needles under motorway underpasses. In I think I'm fully versed now in where not to go.
Yeah. Oh no, exactly. No, there's some sketchy areas, let's put it, but you can still go. It's not fun, but it's a challenge. It's an interesting point of view to get, how the other half lives.
How the under half lives.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, you know, there's this. We've still got this, and
You've
that's the
always
thing.
got this,
Yeah, I mean, for
and
sure.
so is the home viewer.
Well, well, this is all. It's all about the home viewer. I will have maintained that the entire time that I've been on YouTube is it's about you,
Hmm.
the home viewer.
No, it's about you, Tube. And that's the thing. That's the thing that we all forget, and a lot of people forget as well. I mean, there are those I mean, for me, I started because I found the community and I wanted to get involved, and I got involved. And the thing with the community as well is they'll welcome you in, and we're always like that, you know. And I believe it is still like that. I think that, like, I found a couple of new channels this week that are just starting. It's really difficult now, though, that it is to get the kind of traction and get the views and even get recognized that you're even there. You know, it is difficult. But I think it's still what it was. You know, the heart of it is still there. The nucleus is still there, and the reasons that drive it all, the good reasons anyway, the positive energy is still there. There are those that will get involved and they'll utilize a community to build a brand.
Yeah.
And I think that's the disease, is the brand building of it all. And I've always thought that I've always been disappointed by the channels that started as community and then started to brand. Once they got some traction, they were like, oh, right, now I can, now it's the end game. Now I can be somebody. And I've always been let down by that, because I thought, well, you kind of lied to us all these years then that you were building, and now you're going to go off and suddenly, you know, be something else, or, you know, make yourself into a product, or anything like that. And that's not what YouTube is. And anyone that starts it with that in mind, I don't want to talk to those people. I don't want
Right.
them in my life. I don't want that. That's like the worst television these days, you know, the car crash television, or the wannabe television, as I call it. So your fake documentaries about someone's life who, you know, who might live a certain way, or it's just all very, it's just no substance to it. And it just, they've got nothing to say and they're saying it too loudly. It's just, yeah, it's got no heart. It's got no soul. It's saying nothing to me. You know,
Right.
I want people to be real. I want them to be them, and to accept that if someone wants to watch them, that's great, and if they don't want to watch them, that's great also. But just be you. You know, be YouTube. YouTube's not television, although it's trying to make itself that, I think. And the other thing about YouTube as well is that it almost strangulates that. Like, you know, we used to be able to, you know, tag each other in, and we used to have that kind of thing. But whereas it almost like segregates us now. It doesn't want us to be a community. It wants us to be individuals.
Yeah.
I kind of get that in one sense. Like I'm saying, it's YouTube, but and communities will grow within YouTube naturally anyway, because you'll get a group of people that are into the same things and talking about the same things, so they'll become a community, you know, by default almost. But it's almost like they're trying to divide that, and to stop the communication between yourselves and stuff. And there are other formats that have come and gone that have tried to be it. I think YouTube has it does have it within it to be good and to be a positive thing, but it also has it in it to be a bit diversive, and, you know, and to be not real as well, and to breed that fakeness, you know, in
Right.
society. It's a disease.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, you get, if what you want to get out of it, you can get out of it if you want to put the work into it. But, you know, if, like, all I wanted was just to be a part, like, of the retro gaming community, because I didn't even know that that really existed. And then, you know, I ended up being part of that and making friends with people that, you know, all over the world. And I didn't expect any of that to happen. So I was like, this is, it's I got out of it what I wanted to get out of it. And I mean, I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm going to get famous off of YouTube, or I'm going to, make money off of this, or I'm going to, just all of a sudden be super popular or whatever. It's not really about that. Like, this is the thing. Like, I can talk to you off camera, and that's reality, like, not, I don't need to, we don't need to make content to be friends, right? Like, this is the thing. Like,
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff out of this. The video game stuff was incidental after a while. It was just about knowing the people, and
Yeah.
like talking about them about stuff that wasn't video games was something that I just didn't expect to have happen. And there
Well, that's when the community becomes a support thing as well. So that will come along with true friendship.
yeah.
So yeah, I might be interested in your YouTube channel and I might like watching your content, but once I became your friend, I want to talk to you anyway.
Yeah, right.
So it is like, it is like that. Which again is like a natural thing. I think it's like a natural interaction. So almost like the community could be itself without YouTube. So the kind of community get together that I organised at Arcade Club, excuse me, was something that I've always said. I said, we don't need, because what happens is you go to events that are set up for retro gaming. That's the core subject, and the core community clings around that. So there is an event, so we all go to that and we all meet up, and we spend very little time at the event, or very little time looking around it. We spend most of the time with each other, enjoying each other's company. And that happened many times, until I got to the point where I said, look, it's about fucking time we did this. We're gonna arrange a meetup and we're all gonna come together. It's not gonna be an event, it's gonna be our event. So we won't need them. That's
Right.
the pull to get us together. We are the pull to get us together. And everyone knows that, everyone knew that. So it wasn't very difficult to get, a good plan of people together at one place. We had a super time. We had an awesome time that gathering, and that continues to happen as well. Other people are setting up that sort of thing. Obviously, COVID's put paid to that this year, and we've just got to write this year off, really. But it will come back, and we will be able to do that again. There's nothing like being in a group of like-minded people, just like this. Now we're like-minded. We're talking from here, and there's nothing like being with a group of people that are all on the same level, all there for the same reason. It's really, really compelling that, you've got to go to those things.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Appreciate that.
That's the thing. I mean, this is just a shining example that, like something that happened as a fluke however many years ago, you watching my video or whatever, there's still it's still there, and this is something that it surpassed what we own and what we do and what we've bought and what we've sold. None of that's important. And so, like, this is the thing. This is why I wanted to, like, do something like this, is just to be like, the community's still there. It's fractured and some, just lost some of it. You know what I mean? There's just,
I think it has lost a little bit, but that's not to say that, as you say, it's not still there. It is, but it's like, I don't want to use this analogy, but I can't really think of what else at this point. But it's like your work life. So you might, where you work, you'll meet people and you'll talk to them, and because you spend 8 hours plus a day with them, people in your life will become important. But you met them through work. You didn't meet them because you met them down the pub, or they were a friend of a friend, or whatever. You just met, they were a random person flung into your life, and some of those people you may stay in touch with for the rest of your life, because you meet them through life. and then others will just disappear and you'll never see them again. And not because you wanted to, you might just drift away, and the only thing you had in common was, your work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think this is the same kind of thing where you meet someone with a common interest, but then you realize that there's more in that relationship than just the common interest. With some people, there might just be the common interest, and you haven't got any other, interest with that person outside the core subject. So it doesn't evolve into something deeper or bigger. But with us, I think we just clicked, and that's kind of become, the friendship outweighs the core subject. So it's not like, if we weren't to talk about video games, it wouldn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's
and ultimately, I think when you think about that as well with the viewer, I think that's the same thing from their perspective as well. It doesn't matter what the core subject was or is. They still want to be watching the video because they're interested in what your opinion might be.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like it's so weird. Like in the last 6 months or so, I've been getting a lot of like PMs from people who have been watching my channel for like ever. Not comments on the video, but they're like, I'll get personal messages where it's like, hey, I've been watching it for like 10 years or, however long. It's, it's really cool to see you're still putting up content, and, it's just checking in and seeing what's going on. And I'm like, why would, like, it's so weird that there's people just all of a sudden showing up, like being like, yeah, I really enjoy your stuff and just going to try and catch up.
Careful though, Jeremy, they're just trying to leap on your gravy train.
Right. Yeah. Well, I hate to see that train hasn't left the station in a long time. It's at a museum now. The track doesn't go anywhere on my gravy train. So,
It's been derailed.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, no. There's been an accident, and the contents of the cars have spilled into a river and poisoned it. So this is the thing. This is all mop-up operation at this point, right? But yeah, it's kind of nice to just have people be like, the one person messaged me the other day on Instagram, and they're like, yeah, I've been watching you for years. And I messaged them back, and they're like, I can't believe I'm talking to Grubgun. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? Fuck off. Like, I'm one message away from answering anybody. I don't care.
Have you ever been spotted in the wild? Do you get like, we get that quite a bit in the UK, because we're a tight community.
Well, you're trapped on an island.
Retro events and stuff. But have you ever had that? Has anyone ever come to you and said, oh, you're Grubgun, I watch your stuff,
No.
Wow.
No.
You need to experience that. It's quite surreal.
Well, that's why I was going to come over there. I figured you could drag me around to people that would stare. It's like,
because at this point they're going to say, didn't you used to be Grubgun?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I thought you were dead. That's what they'd say.
Yeah. Or they just come up and go.
Yeah, well, that depends on where you bring me. I can think of a few people where I'd have to be quick to dodge the swing.
But that's something that's really a part of the YouTube thing that you've like been denied then, because it doesn't happen all the time to me, but it does. It has, and it does happen, and it's quite. I learned to say thanks. Thanks for watching. Cheers for that. Because a lot of them don't want to talk to you, but they want that kind of contact.
Right.
They let you know that they're there and they watch you, and that's fine. Because a lot of people they're not like me. They can't just spark up a conversation with anybody at any time about anything.
Right.
They kind of, they'll see you, and again, you'll see them see you. That's the other thing. When I go to events, I call it spotting the spotter. So I'm walking around and someone will they'll talk to the missus or whatever, and then they'll walk past you and they'll kind of sort of go, and then walk off like that. Like, going to talk to you. They were going to get the courage, and I've always thought that I have a big personality. And I think that's quite intimidating, but I'm so warm and welcoming that if you did stop me and talk to me, I would spend that time and talk to you. You know what I mean? I'm not,
right.
They're kind of, I don't know if I should say, and I've been like that with other YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
There's Sean who I watch, Fagin RS500, and we were having a laugh about this in Blackpool one year. And when I first saw him out and about, I literally leapt out of the crowd at him. Like 6 feet and 17 stone bloke leaping out of the dark. Oh, Sean! And he was like, whoa, fuck. Obviously never met me before, but because I watched him that much, I felt like I knew him. You know, he didn't know me, Adam, but I felt like I knew him. So he was like, whoa, fucking hell. I was like scared him. And then on the next video I made, he realised who I was and left a comment. He said, the next time just say, hello, Sean, don't fucking leave out.
Yeah, right.
And I've had people shouting my catchphrases at me from across a room, but not coming to talk to me. And I'm looking around, who's shouting that? And they're like shouting stuff at me.
Right.
But they daren't approach me to talk to me, but they're like shouting, and stuff. Like when I used to talk about Malcolm in the corner years ago, it was Malk. Hello, Malk. Yeah. We used to have this joke that he was like in the corner of the game room, you know, my kind of servant. And I was just walking around, I think it was Revival one year, and I could hear someone shouting, Malcolm, Malcolm, like that in the background. I was like, who was that? They never stepped up and said hello, but you know, and a lot of people do. They either want to step up and talk to you a lot, or they just want to say, hello, I watch your stuff, I think you're good, thank you.
Right.
And then they disappear, you know, that's the cute ones. I like those.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, North America is a giant place, and we're spread out so thin that, like, you know, sure, there's probably 10,000 YouTubers in Vancouver, but we're all doing different content, and none of us are going to see each other, and no one's going to even know. We're as soon as we walk away from the hitting record, and we're just the same jabroni that we were before we hit record. So,
well, that's a shame. That I'd really wish you could experience that, because it is something a lot of people say either freaks them out, and it's almost like, oh yeah, they don't like it, or they kind of okay with it, you know what I mean? And it is just what it is. But yeah, it's a shame that you've not experienced that, because I'd like to see your reaction. I think you'd be quite pleased.
Well, I mean, what I'll do is I'll just, when I end up coming over there, I'll come over without saying anything when there's some kind of event, and I'll just show up with you. And, you know, like,
I don't give a fuck, man.
Well, what are you talking about? I'm going to have my T-shirt on that says all my catchphrases on it, and they'll be 1995 through PayPal, and make sure you
just wear the Cojonesdeloro T-shirt that I sent you. Have you still got that?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Used as like it's probably used as sort of a duster by now. It's been cut up into sections.
No. It's in my elite bottom 4 T-shirts. I don't wear it all the time because I'm afraid to wear it out.
You will as well. It was quite cheaply made, and it's put a lot of effort.
Oh no, I can tell. No, it's that thing. Seriously, I'm glad I didn't pay for it.
It'll just disintegrate in front of your eyes. That thing. You better get it frozen in carbonite now.
Yeah. No, I don't know what material that iron-on patch was made out of, but let's just say it's coming away. It's coming away.
I don't even own one anymore.
I've got one for sale if you want it. 1995 through my PayPal.
That's a bargain. I thought he was going to say 99, 999, 95.
Yeah, no. You're paying for shipping, though. That's the thing. I'm not.
That's okay. No, that's understood. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, this is the thing. We've got this, and I want to keep doing this. You know, whenever you're free.
As long as the home viewer is interested, we'll keep doing this. And they need to leave suggestions as well about what we need to talk about.
Oh no, for sure. No, I mean, like, this is just the test run. So it's like, you know, it's like we're sailing this boat around the harbor. We're not going out into open water yet. This is just, you know, we've gone in a long circle, and we're heading back towards the dock, and then we'll go and tighten all of our nuts and make sure that, you know, we're not going to sink when we actually sail out into open water. But yeah, for sure. Like, you know, it'd be nice to see names from the past in the comments section, you know, because
sure there'll be some.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, you know, despite the fact that I may have said that some things about some people in private conversations that may have got back to them. You know, that was a long time ago, and you know, hey.
So I think it's all, you know, it's all part of a process. As I say, part of a process and the journey. and you know, opinions are opinions, and at the time they can mean a lot, and then in you know, times forward they don't mean so much.
Right. I mean, there will be a
Yeah,
list. There will be a list in the underneath it, that if you are any of the people in that list, you're already. I don't know how you're seeing the list because you're blocked.
yeah,
So
you're blocked and banned
you're
anyway. So.
blocked and banned anyway. So there's no possible way. Like you'll have to be signing in through another account. So, but if you are, then thanks for the effort, and I really appreciate
Can I just say as well, for my own preservation, that I don't necessarily agree with Jeremy or anything he says or has said in the past, present, or future. But then generally I do. So yeah, there's that. But don't take it too seriously until you need to take it seriously. That's
right. And I mean, that's the thing. This isn't going to be the gossip corner and call out section where I'm like,
oh, no.
remember that fucking guy? I'll tell you who I don't like. It's like that guy, and I don't even remember any of these people anymore. So it's like,
That's
come on.
the disease, though. That's the modern disease. Is the bitch disease? You know, so it's that thing. It's the, oh yeah, you're Jeremy. Hi, how are you doing? So who we're going to bitch about? And I don't like this guy. Do you not like that guy? We'll talk about the fact that we don't like that guy. Fuck off.
Well, I mean, I can guarantee that absolutely none of our Skype conversations were ever gossipy about anybody else.
No, not really.
Oh, no, I don't believe, because we're so busy talking about ourselves that why talk about other people?
Everyone else is irrelevant anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, when after I've talked about myself for 25, 30 minutes, I say, well, enough about me. What do you think about me?
Yeah.
I let you have a turn,
So it's like a two-way thing.
That's right. I need feedback, so that
I suppose at some point we should talk about the core subject, if that's still a thing. And I know it is. I know you're a gamer, and and it's not. I think we should talk about the gamer versus the collector, and if that's a balance that you can have, because I'm about to discover that myself. I think you went through all of that and then decided to bin all of that as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I've never been. I think it's fair to say that none of us. There's not one gamer on the planet that started out as a collector.
Right.
You didn't. You started playing games. You
That's
didn't.
right.
No, there's not one person that can stand up and say, I've never played a game. I just walked into a game shop one day and I bought a game and I put it on my shelf and I thought, that's great. I'll collect more of those. No, you didn't. You played it. It's about the playing versus the collecting thing, and how that works for you.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like it's and we've been through so much as far as buying and getting rid of, and interests, and what we feel like we want to play is back in the day isn't what we want to play now. And our opinions on how new games versus older games and our favorite games, and it's like we've had so much experience in this. We've been around since the very first consoles were around. We didn't just fall off the turnip truck as far as video gaming is concerned. And I still have a huge interest. I still follow all the new console stuff and new game stuff, and I'm not I haven't just washed my hands of the whole thing. So like I've still got things that I'd like to talk about in this field, and
we'll do that. And interestingly enough, I think my first console was a turnip.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah. You got
it didn't have much memory, but
Yeah. It had the two-prong things that you had to hook up to the antenna thing to the back of your TV. So I mean, that was a strange time, let me tell you.
No, it's all to do. It's all to do, and the viewing public need to be ready. They need to be ready for the challenging and engaging conversations that are going to come from this podcast. Or it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, they need to be more ready than I was when I got you on here and tried to figure out how to start recording this without us flashing back and forth. Trust me, this will end up being, especially once I have my own apartment and I'm able to have complete fucking privacy and fucking silence and fucking being able to do whatever the fuck I want to do without having fucking noise in the background all the fucking time. Then and having my own fucking backdrop and choosing what I do when I want to do it, and you know, when I can organize it so that we have, you know, whatever time we want, and I don't have to shoehorn it into some fucking night shift, everything's going to be great. So let me just say that it's been wonderful talking to you, and you know, this, I don't know how long we've been talking, fucking hour probably, so that's good. Yeah, so, and I mean, like, we covered the basics of like what we've been doing and who we are, and if everyone's happy with that, then that's great, and if you're not happy with it, that's great too.
No, I would, to paraphrase yourself, go suck a dick.
Well, or yeah, you can go fuck yourselves. There's plenty of other channels where
Yeah.
you can go on there,
Plenty
and
of old gadgets that are burnt out to listen to.
that's right. You know, if you want to see people holding stuff up, well, I mean, he's barely holding
Oh,
himself
that's
up.
me.
So,
I'm going to
yeah.
be doing that. I'm going to be. No, don't rubbish that. That's going to be my core thing.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. You film that in black and white, so it'll look like be
Retro,
like
yeah, actual retro.
yeah. Film it on an old VHS or something where, you know, people.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, people really, they'll be lapping that up. They can't get enough of that shit. Let me tell you, it's just you'll corner the market. Yeah, that's right. It's gold. So yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'll put a link to your channel in the description below, and
Thanks for that. And I might talk about this on my channel. You know, if it becomes an embarrassment, then obviously I'll remove myself and rubbish it as much as I can.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, just delete the channel again. I mean, seriously,
I was coerced into it. You know, money exchanged hands, and I was told that within the edit, you know, I would look great.
Oh no, oh, trust me, no, the post production on this is going to take weeks, because like I'm going to have to clean up your side of the video. It's going to be
Well, obviously you're going to have to remove my mane of hair that I have.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to put some really nerdy glasses on you. Make it look like you probably haven't slept or shaved in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm gonna have to somehow post-production get rid of that 3-piece suit you're wearing, put some nerdy shit in the background. It's gonna take weeks to get this like this. And
I'm sure you'll nail it though, mate. You know, and just make sure I'm bald. Okay, it's important.
Oh, listen, you'll be amazed. I'm going to put extra time in on that that computer rendering of the bald head, because like it's going to be so hard with that Fabio hair you've got that's always getting into Sean. It's like, I mean, see, like how am I gonna edit that? It's so like
you just have to use your genius, mate. You know, I'm counting on you.
I mean, to remove the lens flare off of the shine of your hair right now is just going to be, I'm going to have to hire people to do that. It's just going to be incredible. But
nerdy glasses. They're fucking Oakleys, these.
Right.
Nerdy glasses.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for pretending to hold up a pair of glasses that I have to edit. And I have to actually... I have to actually edit Oakley glasses into that, because you had to name them. So, you know, it's like challenge accepted.
Sorry, it's product placement. Sorry, you're not affiliated by Oakley in any way.
No. Other glasses brands are available. Right. Okay. Well, thanks for putting up with an hour of bullshit before this hour of bullshit. But whenever you're ready to come back on and engage in actual conversation, I'll have a list of great topics, and hopefully the viewer, the home viewer, singular, whoever, the one person who actually pays attention and comments, will have some suggestions as well. Unless you're Rasmus, and then you can just forget it. I'm not going to fucking answer you. For fuck's sake.
No, don't, no. Raz, leave some comments on this. I'm interested in your opinion.
Incomprehensible. I have no idea what he's talking about.
He's Swedish, you know. You just got to accept that.
Well, I think you have to read it. I think most of the things he says, it's an anagram, and you have to move the letters around. There's a message in there somewhere. So it'd be him and Malk. Those would be the two people. So get ready for the inrush of gibberish. Of gibberish and.
I'll let you deal with all that. You know, I am merely here. You're the steering force in all this.
That's right, boy. I'll tell you, that's me. All right,
Thanks for inviting me on, and hopefully this will continue, and one person might watch it, and so life will have meaning.
That's right. Tell your friends, and you know,
and their friends,
and
well.
then then in turn they'll tell their friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a process, but yeah. So, do you have what did you used to say when you ended your videos?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye
Yeah,
now.
good one. Grubgun signing out.